what were things that you maybe stood out to you that you can remember throughout your time there, where you know, things that happened or you experienced that caused you to step back and say, wait a minute, like that's not right, that you maybe buried down or pushed under the rug? What were some of those things?
Well, now when you know, hindsight's 2020, you look back and it was a lot. I think that there's some personal things too that I wouldn't want to discuss on the internet, but things having to do with like them encouraging you not to have children early on. Children are such a burden. Abortions are encouraged. Certain things like that. You may not be forced, but the coercion and just the way you feel about children was really hard in the beginning. They're not really treated well. And then later you're gaslit. I remember years later, they came out with a video showing like, oh no, we love children. We all have children. The church loves children. We have happy homes. We have children material now. It was that same video where they're like, we're not racist. We love, you know, we have churches all over the world. And you're like gaslit. And you're like, okay, that's not what I remember. And that's not my experience. But for example, if you are a new member now in 2018 or 2019 who didn't experience those messed up things, they don't know. They're not being gaslit because they're like, oh yeah, everybody is saying like these bad things, but this church does love family and children and they love my children. And you're like, yeah.
Question. When it came to like the fasting, right? What were you taught regarding kids and fasting? Especially babies too, because your kids were born in the church, right?
Yeah. There's this huge, like, it's not like a competition, but you feel like all the moms' faiths are being compared. Like, you're almost faithless if you don't guide your children to fast. So I did guide my children to fast. I don't remember doing it as he was a baby, like on formula or like breastfeeding on formula, but really young, toddler.
Yeah.
And they don't get it. You're like, just hold on a little more, buddy. Like, we're almost there. After second service, we're going to eat. But yeah, you know, and then speaking as a parent, the fear. So there's fear for yourself. There's fear inside that you're not enough. But the fear you feel as a parent is so unreal. Because you learn that, like, you know, usually when they hit a teenager, they need to have their own faith now. They can't just go because of mom and dad. So you worry, is my child going to have enough faith in father, mother to stay in Zion and not go to hell?
Right.
So then you indoctrinate your children as much, you know, we call indoctrination now, but in there, you try and feed them with, like, even my son was learning sermon book.
Yeah.
He's now 9, going to be 10 in August. But like, the fear you feel that they will not remain is so scary. So you're like, they need to fast and they need to, you know, be perfect in service and like all these things that are just so unrealistic for children. And that, like, now looking back, I'm like, is God really like this?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And as a parent, you're doing what you think is the absolute best for your kids.
Yeah.
I know to other people, they might be like, you know, they might have a different interpretation, but in reality, I mean, you're doing what you felt. I mean, not just you, but I mean, just other parents in that situation.
Yep.
They're doing what they felt was absolutely best for their child's life, physical and spiritual life.
Exactly.
And you know, it's tough to navigate because, you know, when we have the days where we're fasting, you know, we're all in the church at the same time. You see exactly who is fasting and who's not. And among the parents, I mean, if your kid is sitting there drinking water or juice or eating a snack while everybody else and other kids are forced to fast, I mean, it's not the kid that's gonna be looked down upon, it's the parent
Yep.
that's gonna look down upon, and they say things like, it's according to your faith.
They do. That's
So
exactly what they say.
yeah, and even though you're not, maybe because when I was a member, parents were legit told, make your kid fast for sure. But as more and more scrutiny came out, I'm pretty certain that they stopped saying that you have to do this and more according to your faith. But according to your faith means, is there a way of saying you have to do this?
Exactly. Because if it's spiritual abuse, it's like manipulation,
Yeah.
like according to your
Yeah.
faith. So if you don't, that kind of shows us what kind of
Means you
faith
got
you
bad
have.
faith. Yeah.
And they would make it very apparent if your child's not fasting, if your child's going to sit there and drink a juice or a water or have a snack, so get them away from all the other kids, because it's like you're going to tempt them, and your child's not fasting, and then you feel like, okay, let me grab my child and hide in the corner so my child can have like a cracker, which I made my kids fast. That wasn't, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just how it is, and because they don't necessarily have to, say something directly to, like, for that to be considered forcing. Like coercion is a
Exactly.
form of forcing. If they're gonna have everybody shame you for giving your kid a snack, then you're not gonna want to give them a snack. That's
Exactly.
their influence is pushing you to act the way they want you to act and do what they want you to do. That's a form of force.
And it's just, you stay in all these weird, uncomfortable, even abusive situations because you believe the doctrine 100%. And you're like, well, I can't leave.